If you've been questioning your own power or doubting your instincts, there's confusion, self-silencing, or overthinking. You possibly are saying yes when your soul wants to say no. You have been using your strength against yourself. Stop trying to think your way into clarity. Truth returns when you stop fighting yourself. Emotional fulfillment is already available, not in the future, right now. You don't need to prove, to chase, or overextend to deserve satisfaction. You need to choose what genuinely satisfies you, not what only looks good or keeps the peace. A long cycle involving self-compromise or a repeating lesson is ending right now. You are not meant to revisit the same conflict again. You've learned what you needed to learn, and it's time to close the loop. So, winning at all costs means losing yourself. Not every battle deserves your energy, explanation, or defense. Walk away with your integrity intact, even if someone else thinks they won. Because peace is the real victory right now. Regain and reclaim your inner authority by ending a mental battle that no longer serves you. You are mentally circling something that has already expired. Not because you don't see it, but because ending it means stepping into the unknown. And you might be in this thinking loop that if I just adapt one more time, maybe it will work. In this battle, letting go versus delaying transformation is draining you. You are no longer trapped, but your mind hasn't caught up yet. The cage is open, right? The chains are off, and that's very uncomfortable. There's a sneaky fear of who am I without this attachment, without this relationship, this role, this dynamic. This is what happens when we experience mental withdrawal from an old pattern, an old relationship. It creates this addictive thinking. It creates obligation, guilt, and self-blame. And you're struggling with who's in charge now. Either you are releasing control and your mind hates the lack of structure, or you've internalized someone else's rules and are questioning them. This can show up as overthinking your decisions, as fear of making the wrong move, the wrong choice, and resisting to step into your own authority. And the mind wants certainty, but the soul wants freedom. You're not confused about what needs to change. You know it needs to change. You're just wrestling with who you will be once things change. So stop trying to control this ending. Your job is just to consent and allow it to happen. And for most of you, this will be all about a mental behavior, not a person, not a relationship. You're not attacking others anymore. You're attacking yourself with thoughts. So you are being asked to let go of the need to decide with urgency, like everything has to be solved immediately. Let go of these mental rehearsals of conversations that may never happen. This takes a lot of energy. Let go of proving that you're right or justified in your own head. Forcing the momentum when your soul wants integration is also not helpful. And try to not use intellect to avoid feeling this uncertainty. And why this type of pattern must be released now? Because you end up blocking the clarity you want, the peace that you're moving towards, and the completion that is waiting for you right now. You don't need to charge forward. You need to stand down, to release your reactivity, the urgency, and adopt stillness, adopt trusting the timing. Let truth arrive instead of chasing it. I know you may feel unseen, under-acknowledged, or even disappointed. There's this temptation to ask, like, why isn't this being recognized? And the message here is like, stop measuring your worth by applause, response, or results, because your victory doesn't need witnesses. Your desire is valid. What you want is not selfish or wrong. You are allowed to experience emotional satisfaction, but contentment is an inside job. And you are actually very, very closer than you think. So choose peace over being right, because otherwise the same lesson will return. Conflict drains more than it gives. And winning arguments, proving points, or holding this moral high ground will cost you emotionally. So disengage from battles that poison your joy. Begin again from the heart. A fresh emotional start is available for you, and it's not about fixing the old story. It's about starting clean. Love, compassion, and openness flow when you stop fighting for recognition. You are in an unstable, safe place. Something that once felt good, secure, or like home no longer makes sense. This is all false stability. And what I see here is that the disruption is necessary and overdue, actually. What will collapse is already misaligned. And this isn't to punish you, it's actually to free you, to liberate you. And this happens when your avoidance ends. You cannot begin again while standing in a structure that is already cracking, right? You've outgrown a version of home, of success, of belonging. Trying to preserve it, it's what's hurting, not the actual end, not the collapse in itself. So release what no longer supports your joy, even if it felt once like home. And you might ask me, yes, Anna, very nice, but how do I move through this end, this collapse, without resisting it? Well, it's actually about inner regulation, not external control. You need to stabilize yourself first. In order to move through this situation with grace, you have to slow your reactions, to feel the emotions that are coming to you instead of jumping into the mind and the logic. Take the middle path. Don't fall into extremes. And create daily rituals to ground yourself. Sleep, rest, drink lots of water, eat nourishing foods, go into nature. Grace comes from moderation and integration, not pushing forward. And this is literally temperance energy. So don't try to fix this end or to avoid it. It's gonna happen, okay? Just balance yourself within it. Restore your hope internally. Stop looking outside for reassurance and accept this temporary uncertainty without catastrophizing. Allow yourself to feel disconnected without judging yourself. Trust this process before you feel inspired again. Grace is non-resistance. It's staying steady while everything rearranges around you. And this collapse will change your outer world. But right now, you are asked to protect your inner self while it happens. You just need to stay present and balanced. You are emotionally open, sensitive, and intuitive, and this is not a weakness. This must be protected. Your feelings are real, but they are not meant to drive the bus anymore. You need to step into your inner authority. It's time to lead yourself, not to react from emotion. You need to create this structure. You need to create boundaries. You need to create self-respect. You are being asked to parent your own heart. You've already mourned enough. There was regret, there was disappointment or sadness. All of that is being processed by your system. But continuing to look back only reopens the wound that it's trying to close. Don't live in the loss when growth is waiting for you. Release the need to be seen or validated, and I repeat this for a reason. You need to stop measuring success by who notices, responds, or applauds. Right now, subtle, quiet integrity matters more than public acknowledgement. Your progress is real. You are allowed to start fresh without guarantees. Your innocence will be restored, but with wisdom this time. And you're learning to trust before having proof. This is not being naive, it's being courageous. Your emotional ideal is still possible. You're not settling. Deep emotional fulfillment is still on the table, but it only comes after you choose alignment with yourself, with your soul, over attachment. Stop delaying the choice. Indecision is now the only block that you're facing. You already know the answer. You're just avoiding to make that decision, and that prolongs your discomfort. Choose, even if it's uncomfortable, if it's hard, if it's painful. You need an emotional reset in your life. And for the ones that are alone, single right now, this isn't about new love yet. It's about emptying an old emotional container. You cannot pour into something new while holding emotional residue, right? First, you need to heal. And you are moving from this emotional reactivity to embodied stability. So honor your feelings without letting them rule you. Release the past without invalidating what it taught you. This is the end of an emotional chapter and a beginning of self-led fulfillment. So choose stability without closing your heart. You are being asked to move without over-preparing. Waiting for certainty will stagnate you. Okay? Innocent action breaks these mental loops, and trust begins with moving. This is what I call aligned risk. You're not being reckless. Indecision is the only block right now. You've reached a point where not choosing is more harmful than choosing wrong, honestly. Right? Decide first and then adjust. You've rested, reflected, processed. Now, overthinking is draining your clarity and you're done resting. It's time to re-engage. Integrity is non-negotiable right now. Meet others from a place of alignment. Choose equal exchanges. Set clear intentions. Have authentic connections, romantic or otherwise. But this only works if you arrive without any masks, if you are authentic, if you are true, honest. So don't minimize your truth. Don't strategize around the comfort of others. Don't abandon yourself to keep things at bay, to keep the peace, to avoid conflict, right? Move forward honestly. Decide instead of delaying. Speak plainly. And never betray yourself again for the sake of harmony. Don't abandon yourself